On January 20th, 2009, there was an article published on Geekology. This article taught me that cows are given a hole in the side of them that leads directly to their stomach. This hole is referred to as the fistula. Scientists use this hole to reach inside of the cow's stomach and use what they see to study on certain foods that are digested. From using this technique of research, scientists can do studies on stomach cancer and digestive issues that occur. Everyone here eats meat and dairy products, but not everyone here knows where their food comes from. You will learn about what happens to the food that the cow eats and the process it goes through before it's turned into fat or the milk that the cow will later produce. I know you might not understand how your food has anything to do with how a cow digests the food that they eat, but trust me, if the cow's food did not go through this process, I guarantee your food would not taste as good. I live on a farm and have been around animals my entire life. I was in Dairy Quiz Bowl for 8 years, and through Quiz Bowl, I learned everything about the cow's anatomy. The rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum are the 4 digestive compartments in a cow's stomach, and each have their own function. The first of the 4 compartments of a cow's stomach is called the rumen. On January 11, 2017, Whitney Lowell wrote that the rumen is the largest compartment of the 4 compartments in a cow's stomach. Because of the rumen's large size, it can hold up to 50 gallons of chewed food at a time. The rumen is the compartment that holds specific enzymes that have one job and one job only, and that is to break down the food and cellulose from the plants. Cows' rumens break down their food and plants in order to get the nutrients they need out. But when the cellulose from the plants is broken down, it turns into sugar, and then from there, the cow receives the nutrients needed. On July 13, 2006, an article about the cow's anatomy was written on OpenLearn, and in the article it said that when food is broken down, it begins to ferment. When the food ferments, it produces methane and carbon dioxide. These gases are later eructed, which means they are basically burped up and released from the body. On August 11, 2017, Whitney Lowell wrote, "The food may spend 15 to 48 hours in and out of the rumen, being chewed, swallowed, regurgitated, and swallowed again and again before it moves on to the second part of the stomach, the reticulum. After the food is regurgitated, it slowly makes its way to the reticulum, where all the food particles will be broken down and filtered. The second compartment in the stomach is called the reticulum. In the reticulum, anything that is not solid food, such as wires or sticks that a cow should not have eaten in the first place, is trapped. The way this compartment was made was specifically just to get all of the junk out of the cow's body and to filter the good from the bad. Once this is complete, this part of the stomach softens up the hard food that was eaten. On July 17, 2016, an article was published on OpenLearn. This article discussed that after grass is softened up, it forms into chunks called cud. The cud is then regurgitated back into the animal's mouth. While in the animal's mouth, the cud is mixed with saliva. The animal will swallow the chunk of cud, giving the cud a chance to break down even further. After the cud is swallowed and broken into smaller particles, it moves its way into the omasum to be dehydrated. The third compartment in a cow's stomach is referred to as the omasum. An article published on August 11, 2017, written by Whitney Lowell, tells us that the omasum is shaped and curved in such a way that it can continue to filter the solid food, squeeze the water out of the food and in the grass, and break down the cud into smaller and softer pieces. All the food that is being sent out into the omasum is in the smallest form that it will be broken down to. The muscle in the omasum are built to break down the food into smaller particles as possible, making the abomasum's job very simple. Anything and everything that is left over after the filtering process through the first 3 compartments is sent into the abomasum, where the final steps will occur. All the food and cud that is left over after the organization of the food is now sorted in the abomasum, and the nutrients are pulled from the food and sent into the cow's bloodstream. The remaining parts of the food are sent into the intestines and will be used as energy. The abomasum is the compartment that acts the most like a regular stomach. As you now know, each of the 4 compartments of a cow's stomach have their own duties that they are in charge of. The rumen starts the process by breaking down the food. The reticulum follows by mixing the food with more saliva and sorting out the bad objects that were eaten. Third comes the omasum, which breaks the food down into tiny particles and are sent into the next step. The process comes to an end once the food reaches the abomasum, where the nutrients are taken out and sent into the bloodstream. After learning about the digestive system of a cow, consider how it allows these animals to eat what they do.